Okay, 4 questions, grade 9. Today is February 20th, I think. Yep, February 20th, and we're doing 4 review questions from 4 different chapters in grade 9. The first question is from your chapter 2, rational numbers. It asks you, -1 and 3/5 plus 2.5 is what? So without a calculator, you can solve this a number of different ways, but the easiest way to solve the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of mixed fractions is to convert them to improper. And once you have that, of course, the regular process of finding a common denominator, making equivalent fractions, keep your denominator and add your numerators, gives you 9/10 as a solution. Now, if this was a test question, you were just asked to do it, you could do it a different way. You could actually change both of these to decimals if you wanted to. So if you knew that -1 and 3/5 was -1.6, and that 2.5 was 2.5, you could take your calculator and go 1.6, change it to negatives, plus 2.5 equals 9/10. And then all you would have to do is rewrite your fraction. Your decimal is a fraction, you have your answer. So you could technically do it without doing any fraction work if you knew your decimal operations and had a calculator. The second question gives you the square root of a fraction, in this case a mixed fraction. And when we studied square roots of mixed fractions without a calculator, we said if you have a mixed fraction, if you change it to improper, and then ask yourself what fraction times itself is 49/16. Well, the numerator, 49 is a perfect square, so it's 7 times 7. And the denominator is a perfect square, it's 4 times 4. And therefore your answer is 7/4, or 1 3/4. We could double check our answer if we wanted and just ask ourselves, yep, what is 1/16 as a decimal? And it would say 0.0625. So 3.0625, this is the same question. And if I took my calculator and square rooted that, it would tell me it's 0.25. Oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. Clear. So what's the square root of 3.0625? Square root. It would tell me it's 1.75, which of course is still 1 3/4. Your next question comes from both Chapter 5 and Chapter 7 on addition of polynomials as well as multiplication of polynomials. So the first one here, we just treat it like a BEDMAS question. We have the multiplication of this monomial by binomial, giving us -4x² plus 6x as the solution to that product, plus this trinomial right here. And we know that when we add two trinomials or two polynomials together, we simply gather like terms. So we gather our highest degree terms first, which are x squares, -7x². Those are gathered. A positive 6x and a -2x is a positive 4x, and a positive 1. So the solution to this question is -7x² plus 4x plus 1. Finally, your last question is just a addition and subtraction of 4 exponential forms. Remember, this first one here, -2 to the exponent of 4, is not the same as -2 to the exponent of 4. It's really considered to be the opposite of 2 to the 4th, or 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, the opposite of that. So our answer for this one is -16. Take away 3 squared, which is 9, plus 5 to the 1, which is 5, because anything to an exponent of 1 is itself. Take away anything to a base or an exponent of 0 is 1. So -16 take away 9 is -25. -20. -21 is your solution.